In the channel we have just tested both a €250 cheap Chinese PC that is capable of running games at over 144 FPS, and a top-quality price gaming PC with the RTX 4070, which runs games at 4K. What do you think if we merge both PCs? What would happen if we put a RTX 4070 to the €250 Chinese PC, which has a €10 Xeon processor? This is obviously an experiment, and the bottleneck it will have is very big, isn't it? Let's try it, because this PC with RTX 4070 will cost you between €900 and €1,000, and for this price it has a high-end graphics card that is capable of running any current game. This could be the most powerful PC ever created for less than €1,000. But hey, are you already subscribed to the channel? You are supporting the channel a lot, and we are on our way to reach 20,000 subscribers in the channel by 2023. If you want to help us achieve this great goal, subscribe and leave your like. To support the hours and hours of work that these videos take, you can follow us on the other networks, like TikTok or Instagram, and above all, add our Amazon and Newegg affiliate links to your bookmarks. What is the basis of buying a Chinese PC from Aliexpress? Is it dangerous? Do they sell you real working components? The main key of a Chinese PC is the infinite number of Xeon processors that exist. Processors less than 10 years old that were launched for more than €1,500, and now you can buy them almost for free. Intel Xeons are server processors, so they have a completely different approach to a desktop processor. What are the differences, and why do I say they are so worthwhile? Because they are super powerful. In this video we are going to test the Xeon E5 2670V3, with 12 cores and 24 threads, and maximum turbo frequencies of 3.1 GHz. A processor launched in 2014 with a starting price of $1,589 and now costing a hundredth of that. We're going to pair it with that RTX 4070 I was mentioning, a next-gen high-end graphics. Those of you who understand more will have already noticed, yes, AliExpress Xeon processors have a heck of a lot of cores, and the frequencies aren't that high either, something very different from desktop processors. Why is this? It happens because server processors are designed to handle more intensive workloads and multiple tasks simultaneously, while desktop processors are designed for fast single-task performance. In addition, server processors often have additional features to increase their reliability, security, and virtualization capabilities. The good thing is that despite being designed for different things, server processors can be used perfectly well in a home computer. They require a socket 2011 V3 motherboard, which would be difficult to obtain here, but which Chinese assemblers continue to market. Find out more in the video of the €250 Chinese PC. With the main components already awarded, let's move on to look at the rest of the components, where we have even more variants to choose from. I'm talking about the case or cabinet, the CPU heatsink, the storage unit, and the power supply, in addition to the aforementioned RTX 4070. Let's start by reviewing what goes into the PC you've been watching for most of the video, which has been assembled thanks to nvidia, with their top components in value for money. You have the option to save even more by putting lower quality components, but I would not recommend it, seeing how this PC performs and how hot it can get if we do not have a well-ventilated case and a good heatsink for that Xeon CPU. In this case, the case I chose for the assembly is the nvidia Kylum, which comes in black, although you also have it in white. For €60, it has 3 RGB fans included and with very cool effects pre-configured from a button on the box. The qualities have improved a lot in nvidia, and this case, despite being very light, is very spacious, has an isolated space for the power supply, a wide bottom to sort the cables and close the lid well, and a side panel completely in crystal glass, which reflects more than I would like, but it is very premium. With that open front that integrates 2 fans, the truth is that the airflow is one of the strengths of this case. You will see it later. I would have liked the side to open and close with a handle, as happens in the nvidia Crater Mini, but well, that feature is not common in this price range. As for CPU heatsink, we have the nvidia Vela X model, which has 5 copper tubes for cooling, and brings installation brackets for socket 2011 V3, which is the one we need for these Xeon processors. If you miss some RGB, you have the nvidia Centaurus X heatsink, which gives you the same performance and adds that aesthetic touch. The power supply is the nvidia Scutum X650W. A source with 80+ bronze efficiency certificate, which never hurts, with numerous protections against power outages, overvoltage, etc. It is also semi-modular, so you can connect only the cables you need. Later you will also see the importance of mounting a good quality power supply in a PC. Do not go for the cheapest, be careful with that. Some of you will be saying that this power supply cannot support a Xeon and a RTX 4070, but this video is the proof that it is more than possible. The power supply has not given any problems. Finally, as a storage unit, I have mounted a 1TB SATA SSD hard disk that I had at home to perform these tests. You don't have a hard drive, and you need to buy one? Watch without fail this video here, as we compare all types of hard disk available, to see which one performs better, and which one you should buy according to its quality-price ratio. I would recommend you to buy a 1TB NVMe SSD, as they are costing around €50, and for that price they're unbeatable. Check first that your motherboard has an M.2 port, of course. Be careful, this board does integrate PCI Express Gen 3 lines, so the graphics card will have enough bandwidth and you can take advantage of very fast NVMe SSDs up to 4000 MB/s, but if the board only supports PCI Express Gen 2, you could be losing performance in both graphics and M.2. Visit the page plakaschinas.com if you want to learn about different boards and their features and performance tests. The graphics is where we are experimenting, as this RTX 4070 alone costs twice as much as the other components combined. Obviously not optimal, and not as balanced a budget as the ones I recommend you buy, but I was really looking forward to testing this. Let's see how this Chinese PC holds up under pressure. Let's finally put this configuration to the test, with a Xeon E52670V3 with 12 cores and 24 threads, along with the RTX 4070 of 12 GB. If we play in 1080p, which is the scenario where this processor will suffer the most, we see how in Fortnite this PC is around 175 FPS on average with a competitive configuration. Here we see a bottleneck, since the graphics card is nowhere near working at 100%, which is what we should be looking for when playing. If we raise the resolution to 3440 by 1400, which would be higher than traditional 2K, and set all graphics to epic, the CPU is already relieved and the PC almost reaches a respectable 60 FPS on average. In the Cyberpunk 2077 integrated benchmark, playing at 1080p on medium, we reach almost 90 FPS on average, although we see again how the CPU is not able to withstand this configuration with this graphics, we are losing FPS. If we go up to a high graphics configuration with 3440 by 1440 resolution, the PC shines again, averaging around 60 FPS. Not bad considering how demanding this game is and the graphic configuration we are talking about. Note that these results are obtained without using DLSS. You could expect super noticeable improvements, even doubling the FPS number in some cases if you use that technology. I honestly would, because the FPS gain is incredible, with an imperceptible quality loss. Finally, Battlefield V in 1080p in high quality is again suffering for this CPU, with an average of about 90 FPS, but with a graphic that is far from working at its maximum. Meanwhile, going up to a more demanding configuration in 3440 by 1440 in high qualities, the average remains at 80 FPS, practically the same number, and as you can see, the graphics is still unable to perform, since this map is especially demanding for the CPU. This same map but mounting a more recent CPU, such as the i5-12400, and keeping the same graphics configuration, would be giving us more than 150 FPS on average, with a graphics card that would already be working at its best. In short, it is a PC that if you use it in 1440p resolutions, and you plan to play in scenarios where the graphics is giving you 144 FPS or less, the combination of that RTX 4070 with a €15 Xeon could work for you. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Is it worth buying a Chinese PC and putting a very powerful RTX 4070 in it? Should you build something like that if you have about €1,000? Well, it is clear that no. The 2011 V3 platform is old, and it is not so optimized or designed for home use. It is a perfectly usable and very powerful PC as you have seen, but it would be much more worthwhile to combine a current Ryzen 5 or Intel i5 with a graphics like the RX 6750 XT, or RTX 4060 Ti, for example. A much more balanced combination, that would not have the significant bottleneck that this combination has had in some scenarios. If you want to know the performance difference between a current i5 and this Xeon CPU, watch this other video. There you will realize the bottleneck of having a Xeon with different models of graphics cards. If you have come this far, I hope you have learned new things, and while you're at it, you can also subscribe, it doesn't cost anything. And with this, I'll leave you for today. See you in the next video. See you next time, bye.